Joining me now, Fox News contributor Tulsi Gabbard, who's also been on the ground in East Palestine. Tulsi, where's the President of the United States? I mean, you got these people that are suffering here. I don't care who they voted for. Don't care. When I go to the south side of Chicago, I don't care who they voted for. When people are hurting, as the commander-in-chief, you get your ass there. But he's nowhere to be found. Why?
It's an utter and total failure of leadership. And I think Chris, who was there, you were speaking to him, I think he hit it directly on the head. He doesn't care. Their actions and their lack of response to these people, our fellow Americans who are struggling and suffering through this terrible catastrophe, their lack of response is like rubbing salt on an open chest wound. This points to this sickening bigger challenge that we see here, Lawrence, is that unfortunately this is not the first time. These are not the only people who've experienced feeling left behind, like our leaders don't care. Where is our president? Where is Secretary Buttigieg? How come they are not paying attention to us and making us beg and plead just for a basic level of help? And it comes down to this. They don't care. They care more for themselves than they do for actually doing the job that they were hired to do, caring for and serving our fellow Americans, regardless of who they voted for, regardless of where they live or what their background may be.
You know, Tulsi, you hear about all these people that care about the environment. You hear all these animal rights people that care about the animals. Yet no one is complaining. Where is the Department of Ag? Where are they? Where is the EPA? All these people that care about the environment. You got toxic waste literally leaking into the water. You think the animals can take bottled water? They can't take that. A farmer can't bring that to them. So all of these people that are so self-righteous, when we have a crisis, they're a no-show. Why?
It reveals so much about them. People who say one thing and do another, revealing kind of what their motives and their intentions and what their purpose is. And this is why showing up there matters. I was there, I think, just before you were there, Lawrence, and went out and talked with a bunch of these farmers and went out to some of the surrounding communities, those who are downstream and downwind from East Palestine, people whose, you know, they're not getting much attention either, but these are the issues that they're raising. What about our farms? What about our kids? Are they going to come in and do early detection cancer testing every 6 months or every year? What are they going to do to make sure that we are not forgotten once the headline moves on? And it is extraordinarily insulting to them to go through all of this here now weeks later and to see that our president not only has not shown up, he has expressed very little concern for them. Meanwhile, he is speaking almost every day, traveling to Ukraine, talking about how he's going to continue spending billions and trillions of our money, securing someone else's borders, paying someone else's pensions in another country, taking care of them, and feeding this military adventurism while we have people in East Palestine, Ohio, who are suffering tremendously, people in Jackson, Mississippi, who are still drinking bottled water because they don't have access to clean water, and countless other people in the country who are feeling the same. Why do we have to beg for basic services that you, people, the President of the United States, Secretary Buttigieg, people who are in these positions of public service, it is literally your job every day to provide these services. And that's where I got to tell you, before we end, Rick was one of the last people I talked to there. He expressed these frustrations, and he grew up there in East Palestine. He kind of shrugged his shoulder, and he's like, well, I guess the only thing we can do is vote. And I told him, Rick, we have to vote. Unless you want to see a continuation of these same politicians who don't care for us, they don't care for the American people, we have to lift our voices. We have to vote them out. We have to hire people who wake up every day excited to go and do their job to serve the American people, who actually care for us.
Tulsi, you hit it right on the head. You've been out front on this, and we can report now the CDC is finally there 3 weeks later. Maybe they came with their COVID swabs. Anyway, thanks so much, Tulsi.
Right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.